And the paper planes are familiar to us. And you can see these competition equipment. They are colorful, so it is convenient to directly identify these planes. And you can see this paper plane. Hello, we are doing the live stream. Can I take a look at this paper plane? So what's the material? It looks like the paper plane we played when we were young. Soon we will see how they will fly their planes. As all the marks stood on the grassland, and these paper planes will fly through the marks. And we've got our guest, Mr. Li Jun. Please say hello to our viewers. I'm curious about the paper plane. What is the difficulty? The most difficult part is the techniques. As you just introduced the grassland, we have 4 6 meters high marks, and there are 2 dragon goats. It's as high as 4 meters and as wide as 10 meters, and the 2 gates has a distance of 15 meters. So once you fly up your paper plane, you need to fly through the marks and the goats. And you need to fly 2 circles. So after you finish all the 20 movements, and we will count. We will calculate the time of each plane. And there is another plane, is the competition around the mark. That's to compete the speed. All the judges are prepared. And now we are doing the registration clearance because we need to use the computer system and to make the order of the competition. For example, this morning there will be 50 to 60 competitors, and these competitors will be chosen randomly in the system, and they will fly one by one. Because this is the public competition, we don't require on the ages. Yes, I saw some children, and even as young as 10 years old. And you can see these also the paper planes, and the competitors are mostly the children. Yes, because this paper plane is easy to be made, and it's environment friendly. It is less noisy. And you can see these are the 3 colors of the paper planes. Even they have different colors. They are in the same shape because the size of the plane is required. This is the wing of the plane, and you see the length of the 2 wings cannot be more than 105 centimeters, and it cannot be less than 95 centimeters. And about the engine system, you can see this is the direct current engine. And this is the new technology. We simplified this traditional engine, and there needs another device to control the speed. This is the latest engine. It saves the battery. This sounds very professional. And this is the battery. And the size of the battery is also required. You see these 2,200 mAh. It means the content of the battery. The upper limit is 2,200 mAh. And there are 3 batteries here. This is lithium battery. 3 of them together, the pressure is 11.1. 3 batteries together is more stabilized. So we mostly use 3 batteries together. And this is the same. And you can see this remote control. This is domestically made, and it's very cheap. It's around 200 to 300 yuan. Once you turn it on, it will send out the signal, and there is a receiver on the paper plane. The receiver will send this signal to the engine, and then the plane will echo to this signal. So the children will need to adjust the weight and the balance of the paper plane. The comprehensive techniques are needed. After your introduction, I really feel that this simple device has its design. Is it designed, installed by the competitors, and will this design or installation affect the final result? Yes, you need to carefully calculate to make it more precise, especially the engine system. Once it's within the required scope, you can design the battery, the engine, like what battery you want, so that to give full play to the plane. But is there a limit on the weight of the plane? No? So will the weight affect the result? Yes. One very important indicator of the plane is the load of the plane. Like, if the wings are too wide, there needs more load. So, in my personal opinion, I think if you want to play well, you can prepare 2 planes. One is lighter, one is heavier. So once the wind is strong, you can choose the heavier plane. If the wind is light, you can choose the lighter one. But we can see here, most of the planes are light ones. During our live stream, we saw many competitors are trying to fly the planes. Let's move here and take a look at these planes. Hello, we are doing the live stream. Are you waiting for the competition? We are preparing. When will you start? Probably in the afternoon. Are you from Tianjin? Yes, I live in Tianjin. I'm a student. Can you show us your plane? Did you make it by yourself? My teacher made it. So how long have you played in the aviation model? Half a month. Are you confident? Actually not. It doesn't matter. Wish you success. He said he has no confidence. You can see most of them are small children. I saw several adults because there is no threshold for the age. Let's see, they are wearing hats and the sun-proof suits. Because people's life has improved, so they also protect themselves outdoors. The parents prepare them with these suits and hats because it's very hot today. Today has issued the yellow alert on high temperature, but we can still sense the enthusiasm at scene. You see, we are also wearing the hats. You see, most of them are teenagers, and now it's the holiday season. It's the summer holiday. The temperature is so high, so you need to protect well. So where is the competition area? Let me introduce to our viewers. Here is the place for the judges. These are the judges and the moderators. They are explaining the rules to the competitors. And these judges are the most senior ones. He is the first aerobatics player, the first generation of aerobatics player in China, and he represented Tianjin to join the China National Games, and he won the 6th prize. He's been playing aviation models for decades. He is at his 60s, and he's not in very good health condition because he received several operations, but he still wants to devote his time to the aviation model field. We really admire him. In our daily life, there are actually other games, but none of them can compare with the aviation model in terms of the various ages, because the aviation model can gather the people from different ages, from children to senior and to the elderly. Because today is the public game, there is no threshold for the ages. So today you can see children at 10 years old and to teenagers to youngsters. There are primary students and university students, and they will compete with the same rule on this same field. This is the highlight. Because yesterday was the opening. So how about the youngest player? Yesterday afternoon, I participated in the rocket program because that's the family program. The youngest child is 3 years old. 3 years old is too young. And you see these children, they are preparing for the competition. They are listening to the judges. They look very small. Yes, they must be primary students. Here writes Tianjin. Hello, this is a reporter from CGTN. Can you say hello to our viewers? Where is your plane? Right there. We are from the team, Tingfeng. They are from Tianjin. They organized this team by themselves. How long have you played the aviation model? Less than 1 year. How do you like it? Because my dad taught me a lot. So which model do you play? Paper plane. Apart from this, did you also play others? For most of the time, I play this one. So your competition will be in the morning? Yes. Are you confident? Yes. Have you tried? No. So you will join the competition directly. Come on. We can see many similar children at the scene. And we can see this is not simply entertainment. It can also teach the knowledge of the aviation to the children and the teenagers. It's not simply the entertainment team or the after curriculum activity, because this can open their eyes. I think our country should strengthen the aviation model competition and activity from young for the children to increase their interest on this. Because by joining these similar activities, this will generate their interest in the knowledge of aviation. So this can also improve their study. In some developed countries like Russia, the US, or Germany, they train their children from very young. Aviation model should be the civil knowledge education. So this can help train the backup talents in this field. Because we can see the developed countries are very advanced in aviation. China is speeding up. China is picking up with this, but we still lag behind. But for most of the people, aviation model is still very rare. Yes, that's in our country. For one reason, is the limited outdoor condition, and it needs hard work. Some children don't want to play so hard, and also this is difficult. And there is professional knowledge behind this, like the installation and the techniques. It is so hard to imagine the 3-year-old child or the 10-year-old child should do research on these professional skills and knowledge. This is difficult for them. Yes, but the advantage of the aviation model competition is that this needs comprehensive ability. The first, you need to study well, and you need to have the teamwork spirit. And you need to know how to study well. And also you need to have a very good physical station. So when will the competition start? It is set to start at 8:30. But because the field was not prepared, this time puts off. Let me check when they will start, and I will tell you. And now you can take a look at these papers, and you can also interview some players. But can we talk about the standards for the school? Let's go there to the starting line. Before we start, we can know what they are competing with. This is the starting line. The plane will start from here and fly to that marks. It will fly through the first mark and the second, the third, the fourth. And after fly around the fourth mark, it need to fly through the first dragon go. And then it need to fly back. It needs to fly back to the mark near this starting line. Let me point the direction to our viewers. This is the first mark, and then it will fly to the left, and then the second and the third mark, and here is another mark. It's far. It's the dragon go, and here raises the flags. The width of this go is 10 meters. So if the plane cannot fly through this go, it will fail. As this mark is 6 meters high, for helicopters, 6 meters is not very high. But the difficulty is if the plane falls down to the ground, it cannot fly up again. Actually, the rule is your plane can touch the ground, but if it is not broken, it can fly up again. You can continue your movements, but the time limit is 3 minutes. If you cannot fly around the 20 marks within 3 minutes, then they will calculate the numbers of the marks you fly through. Firstly, you need to guarantee flying around 20 marks within 3 minutes. If you all have flown around these 20 marks, we will calculate the time. We will compare the time. That means we will compare the speed. That's how we identify, how we judge the score. There is no racks on the plane, so you need to manually throw it. Or if you have an assistant, he or she will help you throw the plane. And then the player will manipulate the plane by itself. And once the plane starts to fly, the judges or the parents cannot help the child. But if the plane falls down to the ground, the assistant can help the player, because the assistant is to help the plane to fly up. We are really looking forward to the start of the competition, but now we can see people are still preparing. Let me check, when will the plane competition start? We can see the judges are busy illustrating and preparing. Most of the players have tried on this field, but they still need to wait. Like Mr. Li Jun introduced to us, these players need to get familiar with the track of the marks. Because most of the players are for the first time to join this competition, so they are not familiar with the rules. That's why we lower the threshold for the competition. So I suggest in future, the players should get familiar with the rules in advance, or rather, this will hamper the process of the competition. Because now, the judges are still explaining the rules to the children. Because for most of the children, their trainers haven't informed them of the rules. They pay most attention on the techniques and the skills. So I'm not sure when they will start. And now we can see the judges are clearing the field. So the competition will start soon. This morning, there will be 60 players. And on our other fields, there will be other players. So some of them need to play in other fields for the first because they cannot ask for leave during competition. And some of the planes need 2 players because that's the air combat program. And later on, let's first watch this field's competition, and we will also go there and see the air combat competition. That's the feast for the eyes because 2 planes will combat on the air. Comparing with that, paper plane is soft. Yes, because this is not combat. In the past, the rules for the air combat program is 2 on 2. But now we lowered the difficulty in order to attract more players. So we changed it to 1 on 1 air combat. This is easier. It is less fierce than the 2 on 2. And now we see one player is ready to fly. His assistant is holding the plane. It might be the judge or the parent, but they can help throw the plane. The competition starts. He needs to fly around 20 marks within 3 minutes. He's flying around the first mark. It's a bit too high. So you see, we need to control the height and the direction. Yes, there are 3 directions: the horizontal, the vertical. The direction of the flight. This is just like the 3-dimensional. So when they are controlling the plane, they are not simply control the direction. They need to control the 3 dimension. Maybe he is a fresh player. He cannot manipulate so well. He just flied around the first mark, but he hasn't finished the second mark. So he is flying. Now he is flying around the third mark. He's trying the fourth mark. Just now we heard from the judges, this is too high. Yes, because the mark is as high as 6 meters, so the airplane should be lower than 6 meters. And if you fly through the Dragon Go, because the Go is 4 meters high, you need to fly lower than 4 meters. And now it's lower than the mark. But we can see there is a lack of skills of this player. He cannot control the plane well, so sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. If later on we can see some skilled players, you will see the speed and the manipulation. Only 20 seconds left. He hasn't finished the movements, so he won't get a very good score. He's doing the countdown. Time it. He just flied around 2 to 3 marks. 3 marks. So the score is 3. The completeness is 20 marks. Maybe there is a lack of practices. And just now the wind was strong, so this may also affect the competition. Yes, I've participated in years of competition, and I think first you need to design and produce the plane well. You need to choose a good material, and then you need to practice it well. And you also need to have a very strong mental condition. Because sometimes you may get nervous. Maybe he is a middle school student or university student. He is also from Tianjin. They are from an aeroplane club. He looks like a university student. He is the second player. Starts. You see, he is more skilled than the first player because he can control the height. 2 marks. 3 marks. He spent time on the direction control and adjustment. The first time of Dragon Go, and then it will turn back. People are applauding, so we can see this player is really skilled. He's getting nervous, and we can see from this movement, he's anxious. That's why I mentioned the mental condition. You need to be very strong-minded. The third mark is non-efficient because it's too high. The plane is too high, and this one is effective. The plane touches the ground. You see the assistant is running to the plane. Fail. Just now, the judge is shouting, "Pay attention to the safety line." Not yet. The safety line is to guarantee the security of the audiences and the judges, so it's very strict. If you touches the safety line, the score will be non-effective. Now it's the second circle. You can fly up at this side. The player is not familiar with the rule. We see the assistant and the player are not matching so well, are not coordinating so well. Because if the assistant don't run for that distance, he simply grab the plane and throw it up. This will save seconds of time. Time is up. He hasn't finished all the movements. Because the plane touched the ground for twice, this all wasted the time. The score will be 10 plus. And now it's the third player. Let's see whether he is lucky or skilled. And we see after each round, the player needs to confirm with their score, and they will sign their signature. The player offered a suggestion on the judges that he couldn't hear from the judges during the competition because it's noisy on the field. During our live stream, our viewers maybe cannot hear the voice of the planes, but actually it's loud. And we can change the angle to watch the plane. They are ready. They are waiting for the order from the judges. And now the judge is using the voice louder. They are waiting for the order from the judge. The loudspeaker is ready. Ready? Go. It's too high. I don't think the first mark is effective because it's too high. This might be okay. Effective. He's not good at manipulation. There is easy access to paper planes, so this is suitable for the fresh players. Most of the players here are fresh. But for some skilled players, they will be very experienced and skillful in playing the paper planes. Once the plane is broken, this round is finished. But now the plane is not broken, so he can continue this round. You see, the plane is always stay here because he's not good at manipulation. If the players are not skillful, they will be less confident, and this will affect their mental condition. They will be nervous. At sea, although the paper planes are no combat, but we are still nervous. We really hope they can fly around the marks successfully. It touches the ground again. The player ran to the plane and threw it by himself. We hope a smooth flight. Only 30 seconds left. He only flied through a few marks. That's the countdown. Now, let me introduce to our viewers on the paper planes. Actually, you can adjust. For the skilled players, you can fly the planes in formation. You can fly 2 to 3 or several planes together if you are skilled. Because this will be very difficult. Sometimes the planes may collide with each other. So there will be more mistakes. But that's faced for the audience's eyes. But there also needs more judges, because if you fly several planes together, you need several players together. And also, once you fly the planes together, it may also be complex for the judges. The time is on. His assistant said the propeller installed in the wrong direction. So this plane has no engine, has no power of engine. Actually, if the assistant cooperates with the player well together, they can quickly change the direction of the propeller. But now we see they are not cooperating well. So they haven't trained their matching and their cooperation. What about the signal? If there is no signal, that's the problem of the remote control. You see, the battery is out from the plane. I don't know whether it can fly up again. The player himself said, we want to stop the competition. If he gives up by himself and he hasn't even flied around the first mark, the score will be 0. These mistakes will affect the score. Actually, earlier we saw some players were trying the flight here. We are not sure whether this player has tried or not. And they will sign their signature to confirm with their result. Later on, the judges will put these data onto the computer system. And the computer system will make the order of this result. Now you see the player is asking the explanations from of the rules. This wastes time. He has flied around the first mark. Effective. For the players coming after the first batches, they may accumulate experiences from the first players. Some players are nervous. The first players may be nervous, but there is no choice because this order of competition is chosen by the computer. This is too high. So he needs to replay again. Effective. Effective. And now he is trying to fly through the first dragon goal and fly around the marks. Second round of flying around the marks. He is more skillful, and now he's getting nervous. It's better to control the speed of the plane and fly it in a smooth and lower way. For the non-effective movements, they need to do it again. He's getting nervous now. Again, this wastes time. And let's see whether he can finish all the movements within 3 minutes. The judge is reminding him to be vigilant, make it stable. It's about to finish. Let's see whether he can fly through. Okay, it's finished. People are applauding. And now he's confirming the score. He's doing the best by far. By far, he is the best player. And now the players are doing better and better. If time allows, let's wait to see a very skillful player. Because you've been judges, you've been the judge, have you seen very skillful players? I don't know about the level of this time. Yesterday, 3 players fly the planes together, and they only took a little bit more than 1 minute by finishing all the movements. Last time he was the assistant, and this time he's the player. I think he is more stable than other players, but the height is over the upper limit. And you see he's doing the adjustment to lower the height. He has flown around 4 Machs, but it touches the ground. The previous player is his assistant. Yes. For many of the enthusiasts, they play the model at school, in the university. So for many time, 2 enthusiasts will be each other's assistant. The second round, effective. That's very stable. He's controlling the height relatively well. Again, it touches the ground. He hasn't passed through the dragon goal. And now he's finished. That's the second round. He needs to do it again. I think he's getting nervous. He cannot control the plane well now, you see. I can also sense that the pace of the competition is very important. You need to control it well. Yes, we can see there is lack of experiences, but this is a pity because he played well at the beginning. That's why I say skill is one aspect. The mental condition is also very important. And he might be the trainer. We interviewed him. Please say hello to our viewers. Come on.
这个就是不知道一直在观看我们直播的网友还记不记得，当时我问他，我说那个你玩了这个航模多长时间？他说不到半个月。我有信心的，说没有什么。
I interviewed him. He played this less than half a month ago. In some schools, the trainer will need to train several students. If the students are a quick learner, they may be mastered earlier. This is very fast. We can see he really is not good at controlling. He cannot control the speed. And we even cannot see his manipulation on the speed. And now he's doing better. The judge is, the trainer is reminding him to lower the speed. Let's see this fresh player who've learned the aviation model for less than one half month. The judge is throwing the plane up. The sunshine is too strong, so I need to wear on my sunglasses. Yes, because the sunshine is too strong. If we don't wear the sunglasses, we cannot see them clearly. But actually, for our job, we cannot wear sunglasses. But because the sunshine is too strong. But we'll see the bow of the plane is changed. Has transformed, but it can continue flying. He is doing the adjustment. If he flies out of the border, the score will be 0. It's just like when we were children, we played games and we were nervous. The judge orders him to land on because he cannot control it well. The judge orders him to land. That's a pity. Because he flies the plane out of the border. Just now we mentioned the safety line. This is the safety line. Behind the safety line are our judges. For the audiences and judges, we have to stay out of the safety line. And for the players, if they are playing in the field, they cannot fly the planes out of the border, or rather this will threaten the safety of the audiences and the judges. And you see on the other side there is also the safety line. If they fly the planes out of the safety line or out of this area, that will be dangerous to the people or the car. So once they fly out of the border, the judges will order them to come back to stop. immediately. And now the judges are negotiating how to communicate with the players. Because the field is too large, even if you are speaking with the microphone, they cannot hear it clearly. The next player is also a child. The judges need to inform them effective, non-effective. We can hear it clearly, but for the players, because they are so carefully manipulating the planes, so they cannot hear this order. But for the skillful players, they can grasp all this voice. Because actually the judges shout loudly and they shout with the microphone. Another child player. They are using the same plane because they are with one team. I thought he's the same one with the previous player. They are wearing the same suits and the same sunglasses. It's too high. Pay attention to the safety area. He is flying out of the border. Because the judge orders him to fly back immediately. The competition is finished. This will be dangerous. But he has been trained for only half a month. No matter high or low score of the result, this is experience. Maybe when they grow up, they will not work in this field, but they learned knowledge and they improved their ability during this activity. This is the education. This is not simply the entertainment. This can improve them, can build them up. The player is following his plane. I know him. He's from Beijing. He has participated in the competitions 4 times. You see, he can control the pace of the plane and the height of the plane. The plane flies smoothly. We can really sense the level. Okay, he's getting nervous. He's an experienced judge and trainer. He trained many children. That's a pity. He trained many children and teenagers in various competitions. The most grand one is the National Teenagers Aviation Model Competition. And soon their team will travel to Suzhou for the National Teenagers Aviation Model Competition. He's the trainer. Okay, let's also change to the other side. He's very skillful, but at the finishing line, that was a pity. And now we are going to the one-on-one air combat field. We need to drive there. Hope these paper plane players can have success. And now the competition goes on smoothly. So we are heading for the air combat field. What are the programs in the 3 days of competition? We have the aerobatics, the wire control aerobatics. There will be 2 steel wires connected with the planes so that to control the ups and downs of the planes. And all the movements of the planes are within a certain scope, a ball, just like a round scope. And there are several required movements on the aerobatics. A few days ago in the International Aviation Model Competition, the wire control aerobatics, which is F2B, China has won 5 first prizes and 1 second prizes. One Henan player named Yang Liu, and one teenager from Beijing won the champion in the teenager team. And they also won the second prize, team's second prize. So for this aerobatics, China really ranks top in the world. And we also have the control 4 wheels flight. While we are driving, our director will show our viewers a video. That's the replay of yesterday's competition. It's really hot today. That's really the challenge on the players because the degree is about 36 to 7. Now, let our director broadcast the video to our viewers. Okay, the video is not on. Yesterday there were drones, and they introduced to us that people are not so familiar with the types of drones. And some of the drones have multiple propellers. We call these 4 propellers drone. And there are multiple propeller drones. And there are also rotorcrafts. So what is UAV? What is aviation model? The definition of aviation model considers the size, the weight, and the way of flying. All these are required. For example, yesterday's competition cannot be called the UAV competition, actually. Because the height cannot be higher than 120 meters, and the width cannot be higher than 500 meters. And within this scope, the planes who in these activities are called aviation models. But for the drones, the UAVs, they have the GPS navigation system. That's for the military use. Also for civil use, like to send out to the pesticide or to collect data of the roads, of the geographics, air quality. These drones are designed by the system. They don't need manual control, so these are called drones. Because the technology is so advanced, they can make the planes lighter and smaller. And it doesn't cost much. So the skills can also be spread into civil use, into entertainment. During the last China National Games, there was the aviation model competition. I was also doing the live stream there, and the speed was so high. And now on the right side of the screen is yesterday's competition. That's the control multiple propellers competition. This is more simple. You can practice with this kind of planes, and once you are skillful, you can participate in the upper level competition. And this shows the picture from naked eyes. But for the other planes, some of them are so quick, so fast. If you cannot sense, you cannot follow the track by your naked eyes. You can wear the glass, and the camera will transfer the track of the plane to the glass. Sometimes I can really sense the challenge of the competition. It will be more difficult if you're not familiar with the field, with the route of the plane. Like we saw many paper planes in the morning. If they touch the ground, the assistant will throw it up. But for the combating planes, if they collide with each other, that's very difficult to recover. There is a requirement on the materials, on the quality of the planes. The plane should be lighter. But if it's light, it will be less stronger. But if you want to make it strong, it will be heavier. That will cost more engine power and that will be more difficult to be controlled. But some of the viewers are just joining us. Let me introduce to our viewers. Today we're interviewing, we're doing live broadcasting at the Aviation Model Competition Center. But now we are in the car because we are transferring to the other competition place. And you see, we are on the way to a lake area. That is the vast area which is suitable for the bigger planes competition. We are heading for the air combat. Even by hearing this name, we will be excited. Because for most of the time, you may watch the indoor plane model competition, and the children often practice at home or in the classrooms. But now we are heading for the place for the one-on-one air combat. It needs more vast sky. Yesterday we saw the largest one. That's also for the fancy flight. Because the flights for the aerobatics should be bigger, longer than 3 meters. That's also better for us to watch. So this also cost much. I heard that the cheapest one cost 10,000 yuan. Yes, so there were less players in this competition. They need to buy remote control engine. This all cost much. And there is a need of the vast land. In big cities, there is lack of a big field. So for the bigger planes, they have no place to train, to practice. But we have the suitable land. We have the lanes which also meet the demands of the bigger planes. That's just to simulate the real planes. We can see for the bigger planes, the lanes and the fields are the same with the real planes. The difference is you have the remote control, or you have the remote control on your hand. So if, dear viewers, if you are just joining in, we are now heading for the air combat field. But now you can also watch yesterday's competition from the screen. That's the indoor plane competition. Yesterday, the small planes are very exquisite, because they are manually made. But that's different from today's paper planes, because most of today's paper planes look the same. But yesterday, the planes were different. And we also saw some children's plane models, which were very small, so that's easy to fly through the holes. And If you cover the full propeller plane, the size will be bigger, and that will be difficult to fly through the holes. There is a hole with 60 centimeters in diameter. So if your plane model is too big, it will be difficult to fly through this hole. So the diameter of the planes should be less than 20 centimeters. In order to attract more players, this time we don't have a strict requirement on the batteries. But actually, the batteries also affect the engine power for the mileage and for the power. If the plane flies fast, there is a need of the bigger power, great power batteries. The requirement is that you need to protect the flight, the plane. You need to make a cover so that it won't hurt people or won't hurt the equipment. We are close. We are almost arrived at the competition area. Later on, we will watch the air combat competition. If it hits the national game, there is a strict requirement on the size, the weight of the plane. And there is also a requirement on the engine of the plane model. In order to make the competition more fair, we set a strict requirement on the engine. There will be two planes conduct the one-on-one air combat. So how will they fight? How will the judge make the result? We are almost arrived. There is a small door, a very small door. So now we are at the competition center. Let me firstly introduce Sorry, I need to wear on my sunglasses because the sunshine is too strong. You can see this cement road land. There are lines on the cement land. These are the lanes. And the safety line. See, there is one plane model on the air. I'm not sure whether our viewers can see it clearly. The second plane is a red one. The ribbon falls down. Then the red plane will get a score. The ribbon falls down by itself, so that's a pity. Within the required time, the judge will constantly make the points by checking the time of the flight and the time of the combating. The blue one is trying to fly up. Maybe the plane is broken. It failed in flying up. So he has to stop. Now the judge orders the red plane to land. The red plane is still flying. Okay, the red plane lands. So for this round, the red plane wins. This is very cruel because before the blue plane can fly up, this competition is finished. The red plane wins. At the beginning, the red plane made mistakes, but at the second round, the blue plane was broken, which cannot be flied up, so the red plane wins. And now is the second competition, second players. We can see the players are wearing helmets. That's the rule. Because while the planes are combating on the air, it is very dangerous. So the manipulators need to wear on the helmets. They are putting the blue ribbons on the plane so that the judges can identify which one is the red team and which one is the blue team. The assistant is now preparing the backup flight for him, because for this competition, the players can prepare a backup flight, backup plane. So once the first plane is broken, you can use the backup one. But the most ideal situation is you can get points during the combat and you do not touch the ground because this wastes time. Just now you mentioned biting the ribbon. So how long is the ribbon? It depends. Once it's unfolded, you can see. It's long. Between the ribbon and the plane, there is a small line, small rope. Speaking of biting the ribbon, it means the propellers of the plane will bite the ribbon. The judge orders the blue plane to fly first. This one is an electric one, also the red plane. Time is on. The order will soon ask one side to attack. For example, if the judge orders the blue plane to attack, the blue plane needs to attack, to bite, to cut the red plane's ribbon. And the other side need to defend itself. And they are waiting for the chance to cut the ribbon. Once is the exact moment, they will use the propeller to cut the ribbon. Okay. The red plane cut the ribbon of the blue plane, and the red one will win 100 points. One cut 100 points. So if you cut the ribbons, but because the speed is too fast, so there is luck element behind this. Maybe sometimes you cut the ribbons by accident. The field is 200 meters long, 80 meters wide, but today's field is simplified. It's narrower. And all these planes need to fly within the area. And we can see 4 corner flags. And there are side judges at the flags. This is just like the soccer judge. You cannot fly out of the border, out of the area. During the air combat, you cannot fly out of this area. We can see there is a red tail on the blue plane. That's why I said you need to see the color of the ribbon at the head, at the front area, but not the tail area, because sometimes the ribbons may be mixed. The tail ribbon may be the other plane's ribbon. As the competition becomes more and more fierce, we cannot see it clearly now. The blue plane should make more defensive measures, because he is now ahead of the red plane. He has won 100 points. Once the red plane cannot attack the blue plane, the blue side will win. Is there a time limit? Within 7 minutes, you need to finish the competition. If you cannot, and you touch the ground, you need to quickly change it, adjust it, because within the required time, if your plane stays in the air for more time, you will get more score, get more points. They put back the helmets, and the next round of players will come soon. Can you comment on the just concluded round? I think for both red and blue parties, as they are electric planes, but I don't see the advantages. If one party is is the electric plane, one party is the control plane, you may see the difference. There is no big difference between the two electric planes. So for the just round, the skillful, the experienced player will win more points. And this round is also for the electric plane. It is more convenient to maintain, to protect the electric planes. And electric planes are environmental protected. And even at the scene, you cannot hear the voice of the propeller because it is not noisy. The electric planes are also the trend for future. This has the same principle with the electric cars. So with the higher capacity of the batteries, the engine will be more powerful. For the first learners, most of them are playing electric airplanes, but not the oil ones, because batteries are more convenient. Once the power is off, you just need to change the batteries. But for the oil one, you need to fill up. That's complex. And but there are different types of the planes, and we have one piston. We have several types of piston engines. Take a look at this plane. Just now we saw the paper planes on the other side. It can also be used for the air combat, but this plane will fly slowly than the others. But this plane is more flexible. For the high-speed planes, they are not as flexible as this one. When will you play? Soon. We see they are sticking the ribbons. They are the blue party. Let's take a look at the planes of the red party. The right side is the blue party, the left side is the red party. I think for this round, the red party has more advantages. So we will see their skills. This plane is oil-driven. And this plane is also very flexible. This is the engine. It's OS. It's the piston engine produced in Japan. And this is the oil tank. Oh, it's very small because this one saves oil. This can sustain 20 minutes. And there is a muter. That's the piston. They are skillful. He is Yang Yu from Tianjin. He's the drone trainer at one skill academy. He participated in last year's China National Games to represent Tianjin. You see, he's very skillful and experienced. He controlled the height and the speed in a very good way. And the paper plane from the blue party flies up. There is no ribbon. The judge ordered him to land immediately, so we can see the blue party fails. We can see the obvious difference between the oil-driven plane and the paper plane. Yes, it's just like the fight between the adult and the child. Before the competition starts, the red party wins. And we see that's also a pity because today this round's red party is so excellent, so skillful, but there is no certain opponent. Or rather, we could have a fist for the eyes. I think for the paper plane side, they are not prepared well. There is a lack of experience. Because if you make mistakes on these preparations, this will directly affect the result. You will directly lose the game. So there is an old saying that you should be well prepared before the war.
下一场比赛，我们看到了红方又是用我看到这架飞机是电动的吗？
Let's see whether this plane is electric or not. This is also an oil-driven one. But the blue party is using the electric one.
油动飞机也是一台活塞式的发动机。
This is also the piston engine. And this is the miniature of a real plane. And there is a pilot. But the pilot is falling down. He's lying on the ground.
咱们刚刚来到这儿的时候，已经有两组选手因为彩带的问题直接被淘汰了哈。对。真的是被他们装彩带的。
And we just saw two teams fail because of the ribbon.
造成了比赛的终止哈。
就是我这个看过的几场这个空战比赛啊，就是说有好多选手，他那个非常有经验。
Many of the players are very skillful and experienced. So even during the practice and training, they were regarded as the real competition. The trainers and the players coordinate with each other very well. But for the fresh players, all the self-learners, they haven't trained their coordination, so they won't get a very good result in the competition. You need assistance. You can see in each team there are at least 3 persons. One player, one assistant, and one trainer. The coordination between the player and the assistant is very important. And maybe the trainer will also order you, help you.
这个场上的形势啊，你可能分析的不是太好，他可能给你一些提示。现在红方已经启动发动机了，但是蓝方还没有准备好。
The engine is on, but the blue party hasn't prepared well. The judge orders the blue party to take off.
好，顺利起飞。
我们每一次这个比赛对抗的话是有多长的时间呢？
这个比赛时间。
How long will the combat last?
听到那个裁判长结束的时候，他会报几分钟时间到，这个啊，具体规则有规定，因为我不是这个项目的总裁判。 所以我对这个项目的这个时间呢，记得不是很清楚。
I don't remember it clearly, but it's about several minutes.
阴天的这个背景其实还更有助于观赏我们这个比赛，因为好像这个背景比较。
You can see in the cloudy day, it's more convenient for us to observe. Are they about to fight? But actually, the sunshine is very strong. Usually, we will avoid the light. The planes are right above our heads. Although this red plane is also oil-driven one, I think it's less powerful than the previous yellow one. And we see the oil-driven plane is a bit faster than the blue party.
好，现在有问题了。现在裁判长要求双方运动员着陆，这是什么原因呢？就是我们讲的那个规则最严厉的。
The judge ordered two planes to land. Although the red plane cut the ribbon of the blue party, but it flied out of the area, so this will be punished. So once the plane flies out of the area, the competition will stop immediately.
就是说，靠我们这个裁判员这一侧的这条线呢是安全线嘛，这个是绝对不能过的。你过了以后就判你为0分。
This is safety line.
其他的那个线呢，你超出去呢就只是。
Is the strict area. You cannot fly out. Once you fly out of this area, you will fail. Just now, after the red plane cuts the ribbon of the blue plane, maybe the player was so excited, so suddenly it flied out of the area, so that the competition stopped.
100分以后呢，他可能就是说，他觉得他已经这个得分了，他可能有些贪心，他还要再继续咬断对方的带子来得分。这样呢，我们认为不可取，就是说你已经占了优先了。 那么你应该对进行防守了，在对方没有进攻的情况下，你进行防守，这样的话能保证你有成绩。他有贪心的呢，做些动作比较过激，他就操纵失误以后。
But sometimes people cannot control the excitement. They may fly out of the area. It's better you keep cautious, keep stabilized, and once you get 100 points, you can turn to the offensive mode.
对，刚才呢，我不知道是不是蓝方的战术啊，他飞到这边安全线这边以后，红方呢。 对他攻击的时候产生失误了，产生失误以后他过了安全线了。
We don't know why the red plane or the blue plane made mistakes, and now is the child player.
对，他们我看好像都是电动飞机，
These are electric planes.
我们刚刚转场到这一场比赛中看到的第一组小选手，年龄都挺小。
This is the first children players.
感觉蓝方的这个飞机哈挺小的。
对。哎呀，那个红方起飞呢，他撞到了那个安全帽上，再重新再起飞。
希望不会对这个飞机有什么影响。
对，他在起飞滑跑的过程当中没有飞好直线。 他这个轮子可能没有调整好。
这个现在是哪一方进攻的感觉？这个
So which side is attacking?
没有听到裁判怎么宣这个指挥的，就是哪个方先这个进攻。
We didn't hear the order from the judge.
一方进攻，下半场另一方进攻。现在看来
Because
好像是。
for each time,
现在就是一个战术，你看吗
the blue party is flying out of the area.
他把这个飞机引到边线上，让蓝方引导他去失误然后但是呢，他呢，裁判呢
You see, the red plane was seducing the blue plane to the border of the area.
现在没有飞到交战区域，让他们飞到交战区域来，他们飞得太远。
The judge orders them to fly to the area.
不能一直用哈，否则这个比赛
对对对，规则有规定的，就是说还有消极。消极比赛，就是他不主动进攻，规定你上半场你要进攻了，他不进攻，他在那儿。
The judge said negative competition.
对消极比赛要
This is the negative mode. If they continue this negative mode but not attack, they will be punished. There will be minus score.
大概是我记得好像是出界一次，罚50分你咬断对方的这个一次带子要得100分。
现在听到场外的这个裁判一直在提示让两方飞到这个交战的区域。
对对对
，The judge is ordering the two planes to fly back to the area.
是没有比赛的经验，没有参过。
I think there is a lack of competition experience.
好像蓝方咬断红方的带子了，但是带子挂到自己的飞机上了。
还真是。这个蓝色的带子挂在了红方的这个飞机上。
对对对。
现在红方向有2条带子。
对对对。
现在是蓝方的这个进攻的时间了。
对对对。他虽然
And now it's time for the blue
我们只能是
party.
这个飞机上带的标志带，就是最短的那个带子。在飞机的尾翼那地方能看见很小一个带子，才能判定它是红方还是蓝方的。
在我们一直说这个出界的情况下，其实这个界限也考验了我们选手的一个操作能力。你首先要有这个视觉。
We always mention flying out of the area. Actually, this also tested the ability for the players, because there is only 4 flags to mark the area. You need to precisely identify whether it is out of the area or not.
现在我们看到蓝方的带子，就是之前挂在红方上的这个蓝色的带子，慢慢的飘下来了。但是不知道刚才的这个进攻算不算？可能是不算，因为毕竟红方的这个红带子并没有被咬断哈。
这不是，现在拖着红色带子的飞机，实际上它是蓝方的，它咬断红方的。
We see this plane with the red ribbon. It's actually the blue party. This red ribbon is from the red plane.
现在就是说，在这2个飞机都没有带子的情况下，那我们怎么能去？
现在看呢，就是说，他们对方的带子都被对方咬断了，在这个就是说。咬口的这个计分上各得100分。
那如果就是都只是
Because they cut each other's ribbon, both of them will win 100 points. And if the score is the same, we will check their time in the air.
不是整个飞行时间内，比赛时间内，谁飞的时间长一点，他就是，比如说在5分钟必须完成飞行嘛，在5分钟之内有一方没飞好掉下来了，那么他的飞行时间就短了。
For example, if the time frame is 5 minutes and both of them haven't made points, we will check the time they stay in the air. Once the score is the same, we will calculate the time they stayed in the air. The difference is by seconds.
整个比赛在空中的时间。
That's not the attacking time. That's the time they stay in the air.
你是靠这个时间来判定。
哎，对。
我们现在看的是下一组，下一组这个应该很明显是电动飞的。
对，明显的电动飞机。
也体积比较小。
对。
These are electric planes because they are small in size.
现在我看在准备上场的选手飞机当中，没有再看到纸飞机，还是刚才那个纸飞机的选手，他们已经在这个维护区正在维修。
There are no paper planes now.
现在是蓝方。
现在是蓝方的一个。
在前面是蓝方，前面是蓝方。前面呢是蓝方的运动员，我们进冲的是红方的运动员，蓝方的运动员，哎，我们需要站在安全区以外。现在我们看蓝方已经把带子打开了，蓝方的运动员呢
We need to stay out of the safety area. The blue party is a trainer from Beijing. Every year they take the teenagers to participate in the national aviation model competition. I just introduced them at the waterplane area because soon they will compete in Suzhou. Yesterday, last year, he also joined the Chinese national games. I think he's also very experienced.
那么我们刚刚说到这个教练级别的这个选手，他是这次比赛是蓝方。对，
他这个纪委的教练呢，他自己本身参加比赛，他既是运动员又是教练员。
So he himself is both a trainer and a player. He can also instruct the teenagers.
好，蓝方起飞了。好像蓝方这虽然是电动飞机吧，但是我感觉它的速度很快。
这个快慢其实是取决于它的这个发动机。是取决于它这个发动机的这个性能。
对，你动力足嘛，它的飞行的速度就快嘛，机动性就好。
If the engine is powerful, the speed will be faster. This is the red party.
这个红方的飞机啊比较有特色，它是双发的这个飞机，就是
The red party's characteristic is that it has two engines, two propellers. I don't know whether this is the advantage.
螺旋桨就对。
因为飞机飞得比较高，比较远。
Because the planes are high and far from us, we cannot see the propellers clearly. The blue party has bited the red ribbon for one time. And the red party bite the blue party. Only for a short length. The red ribbon is overlapped, or rather, it will be longer.
看来这个红方的飞机虽然小一点，但是看它的速度也很快。
Although the plane of the red party is smaller, but its speed is fast because it has 2 engines.
它的操作方法，在咬对方带子的时候，它滚动，它除了2个螺旋桨咬断的机会多一点，它在滚动当中呢，它可以把那个对方的带子给绞断，用机翼绞断。
Because the red party has 2 propellers, it has more opportunities to cut the other one's ribbon.
而且现在感觉红方的这个进攻多一些。
对，红方好像它猛烈一
I
点。
can see the red party
其实是
is attacking
陷入
more.
了一个蓝方的圈套。
对，蓝方咬断它了。
The blue party
红方还是在
cut the ribbon of the red party.
对在进攻。
So now
在现场用手机的这个直播，
the
可能很
blue
难看清楚
party
飞机啊，
wins more
但是
points.
没有了这个带子的话，就这个太
现在
硬了
蓝方有
蓝方坠机了
些，不是，我感觉他这个是一些战术，他现在要起飞机了。看到后边教练给他指战术了，他已经占优势了，得分比较多了，他可能要耗时间了，才教练不让他起飞了，
we see
就是说我不要后边的留空时间的得分了。因为留空时间的得分，
已经是200分的成绩了。
对，这个
The
我没有听到
judge
的指令，就是说他那个
the trainer asked the blue party not to take off because it has also won more points.
但是呢，你在
Now it only need to wait for the finishing of the competition.
这个攻击啊，一直都还挺。
对，就是这就是一个就是一个技巧问题，现在蓝方现在
The judge warned the blue party for negative
现
competition.
在实际上从这个比赛现场来看啊，蓝方已经占优势了，他应该就做一些防守，然后把时间耗掉耗到比赛结束，他肯定
As the blue party is ahead of the red party, it only need to wait and to offend so that to maintain its points. It's finished. The blue party wins.
而且也比较激烈。
These 2 players are skillful.
不如蓝方的多。
They can compete with each other.
对，我觉得他这个在这个比赛当中发挥的是不错的。
对，进攻性。
I think they played very well.
就是刚才呢，就是我们分析一下，就蓝方的比赛，他中断飞行的时候，飞机掉下来的时候，起飞机的时候，教练在后边提示他不要起飞，就是说这是一种战术。
Just now, when the blue plane fell down, the trainer asked the player to stop taking off, so that to wait for the end of the
我
competition.
觉得这就是一种应援，一种斗志，一种精神。
But the player took off the flights again because that's the spirit of the sports player. They want to continue the game. They want to win more points.
宣布蓝方已经胜了。
对，但是他
Just now, the judge announced that the blue party wins.
一个分数。
现在下一场。
And next team.
怎么红方是杨宇，就是我们刚才
Red party is Yang Yu.
就是我们刚才那个那个
We mentioned him.
天津这个
He's from Tianjin.
职业学院的这个杨宇教练，他是
The trainer.
天津比较年轻的一个教练，他是主要是在这个
He's a young trainer in Tianjin. He's teaching in the vocational academy. And he is also teaching the aerobatics, helicopters, various planes. He has the comprehensive ability.
而且我们看在这边的这个比赛的准备过程就很短了。
And we can see here the preparation time is very short. Most of the players here are skillful. Yes, they are experienced and they know about the procedure of the match.
Now 是红方正在准备，蓝方那边发动机已经启动了。好，蓝方要先起飞。
The red party will take off first.
就是说，场地的从裁判员的正面看啊，左面的场地起飞场地是红方。
The right side is for the red party. The left side is for the red party. The right side is for the blue party. And how to decide which one to take off the first? It all depends on the direction of the wind.
飞机的所有的飞机起飞都要逆风起飞啊。
这两个飞机好像飞得比较低哈。
对，我看这两个选手都是比较有这个。
The planes need to fly against the wind. You see the blue party fly very low. That's the technique.
好，现在看到吗？蓝方的战术的这个奏效了，哎，他飞低。
The tactic of the blue party wins.
没有备机，只有这一架飞机。
对。
所以说这个在空中飞行的时间
所以呢，杨宇呢，因为他有去年全运会比赛的这个大赛的经验了。
So we see Yang Yu is experienced because he participated in last year's Chinese national games.
从留空时间上看，蓝方是占优势的。
And for the time staying in the air,
换上背机以后，他能
the blue party also wins.
把这个蓝方的彩带咬掉以后，他可能有希望获胜。
红方才刚刚换上背机啊，刚才背机并没有准备好。
对。
现在其实这个就耽误了一部分的时间。
现在时间到了。
Time is up.
基本上是在倒计时。
3、2、1，那么就是说，红方起飞的时候，他就第二次起飞就得了3秒的这个留空的得分。
可是他这个彩带并没有打开。
对。
刚才时间实在是
对，那可能第二次起飞可能是无效了。现在就是说，蓝方是肯定是。
But because the ribbon is unfolded, this might be non-effective.
对。这个杨宇他是经过系统训练的一个运动员啊。
又有战术有技术。
Yang Yu has been trained systematically, so he is very experienced. Okay, due to time limitation, we cannot stay here for hours. But according to your introduction and briefing, and we watch some clips of the competition, we directly watched the brilliance and the fantasy of the aviation model competition. And we saw the youngest children and the elderly who is over 70 years old. But all of them are aviation model enthusiasts. So I think in daily life, there is no such competition, such game that can include all ages, all groups of all ages. Indoor, outdoor, the bigger ones, the smaller ones. I think this is really interesting. Really thank you, Mr. Li Jun, the chief judge. And just now we also watched the one-on-one air combat. But due to time limitation, we have to stop here. If our viewers love the aviation model competition, every year you can pay attention to the competitions in China or in the world. And then you can also try it by yourself.
到这儿结束，非常感谢。
Okay, dear viewers, that's the end of today's live streaming. Thank you for watching.